When Patricia Issberner was 10 years old, her mother revealed the shocking truth that her father was not her biological father. Patricia was conceived through a sperm donation, and now, as a mother of 3, she wants to find her donor dad. An estimated 30,000 kids each year are born through sperm donation. Do they have the right to know their biological dad, or should the donor be protected? Please welcome Patricia Issberner. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me how you found out that the man you thought was your dad really wasn't. At least not your biological one.
I was 10 years old, and he was not in my life anymore. And my mother, sort of to soften the blow that he was not in my life anymore, explained the truth that my biological father was, in fact, a sperm donor.
Did you even understand that at 10?
Not really, not really. I was very concerned about her feelings at that moment, so I didn't want to appear too upset about it, so I sort of just held it in for a while.
Mm-hmm. So what do you hope to gain if you meet or you find out the name of John Doe, who was the sperm donor? Do you want a relationship with this person? Do you want medical information? What do you want?
In my opinion, everyone has a right to some basic information about their identity. They have a right to their medical history, their genetic history, their religious history, and historical information. For example, where you came from, what country you originated from, things of that nature. Do I want a relationship? Absolutely not. If that person would like one, that would be nice, but I just need to find my identity.
Well, adopted children are now doing all that because they need to know if there's cancer in the family, if there's heart disease. But I brought this up before about sperm donors. You could be marrying your brother if you are in an area where somebody was extremely generous.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And that's actually a problem.
Yeah.
And in fact,
never thought of that. That's amazing.
I mean,
if
really,
you are dating, for example, my sperm donor presumably is a medical student, or at the time that he donated was a medical student. Mm-hmm. And I was dating a doctor who was about 20 years older than I was at one point in my life. So we had this discussion, and he actually donated sperm at one
So you mean he could have been your father?
Yeah.
That freaked me out. Why'd you have to bring that up?
Do you think there should be some kind of guidelines as far as who they're choosing for sperm donors and how often they're allowed to do it? And I mean, do you have any access to any medical records?
I have no access to medical records at all. My mother's obstetrician gynecologist was Dr. Virginia Worden. She claims that all of her records were destroyed at this point, that she used a doctor by the name of John McLeod to do some sperm analysis, and that's all she knows, and she refuses to discuss anything else with anyone. I would like as much information as I could possibly achieve.
I think it's so difficult because, think about it, I mean, the average age of a sperm donor, they're in college. Yeah. These guys are not thinking, wow, I might be conceiving at some point. There might be like a life and it'll be because of me.
They're just trying to get to $50.
Exactly.
Yeah, but people like Patricia will start the ball rolling to change those rules.
But what about the donor's right to remain anonymous? How do you protect that?
You know, that's an excellent question. In my opinion, I did not enter into an agreement with the sperm donor. My parents did. So I feel like I have a right as my own person, as an individual, to my past.
Yeah.
And
do you feel, I'm curious, do you feel like, you know, a lot of adopted kids, they have a lot of issues that people don't even know about yet, you know? I mean, I think there's stuff there. But they feel sort of like out of the family and a little bit embarrassed that they're adopted sometimes, not all, obviously. Mm-hmm. Does a sperm donor kid like yourself feel more ashamed, do you think, or more embarrassed or something than an adopted kid? Does that come
You know, when you have shame, that comes from secrets and lies. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't a secret and people weren't lying to you, you wouldn't think it was something that was shameful.
Yeah.
There was a doctor that said that they should lie to their kids, which I was reading the research and I was outraged because you can't build your foundation on sand. The most important element of a relationship is trust. Mm-hmm. And if you're lying to your kids, who are your kids going to trust?
So wait, let me just play devil's advocate for a moment. Do you think had the man that you knew to be your father been loving and caring and stayed in a relationship with your mother and raised you to be
as his own,
yeah, would you feel the same need to search for the donor other than for medical history?
That's an excellent question. I think that people who are donor offspring, whether they have a very good relationship with their father or not, feel a little disconnected to that person. They feel like there is something missing. They see that there is something different about themselves. And it's just a sense that you have. I actually did have a fairly decent relationship with him until I was age 10, and he had a mental illness, and so
he did?
Yeah,
And he walked away though,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So
which was maybe easier for him to do,
right?
Because he was not my biological father.
Well, mental illness can be genetic, so you should be glad. Yes. But like, really, you know, I mean, I hate to be so blunt, positive, but that's the truth. Let's spin this in a positive way here. But like, for instance, your biological, the sperm donor, was a doctor. Do you have any propensity towards medicine? I'm just curious.
Not really. My daughter does, though.
Skips a generation.
The average donor donates. The average donor donates 200 times over a 4-year period. So there's a good chance whoever donated the sperm that created you could have done it many other times as well.
Which is why probably think of all those kids were
brothers
looking
and
for
sisters out there. I'm an only child, so I would love to learn the identities of all my brothers and sisters.
Do you think you'll find him?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so, unless there is, a lot of publicity and people start visiting the internet, and there are a few websites that people should maybe contact on Yahoo, Donor Siblings Registry and Sperm Donors, and there's a group I belong to.
And watch out for the wackos though. Watch out for the wackos, because you're vulnerable and you don't want anybody taking advantage of that.
It's a very important issue, and we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our thanks to Patricia Issberner. We'll be right back with Shania Twain.
Good luck.
Got the looks, but have you got the touch? Now don't get me wrong, yeah, I think you're alright, but that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much.